And it's my pleasure this evening to have Jeanine Glynn, our medium for the first service of 2012. So I'll now leave this evening in Janine's care. Thank you, Jeanine.
Thank you, Gloria. Good evening, friends.
Good evening.
Oh, good. I'd like to just make you aware that we are working with energy this evening, and energy is always moving, and the link I'll be working with is very tenuous one. So communication with the loved ones in the greater world is often done through symbols and thought transference, and it's my job to interpret these. And of course, the spirit people don't have a physical voice, so it's sometimes quite difficult. For instance, if you didn't know my name was Jeanine and I couldn't tell you, it's done mind to mind. So if you bear that in mind. And the people from the greater world make a tremendous effort. Imagine powering it out on our behalf. So please speak up as positively as possible. A yes or no, as Gloria said, will suffice. Usually working on a faster vibration than normal everyday life. So sometimes the generations seem quite similar. I may say, for instance, your father, when it might have been your grandfather, because obviously every grandfather and grandmother has been a mother and father. And the last thing I'd like to say to you, please, is however desperate you may be for a message, and sometimes we are, please just sit, watch and wait patiently, because if you start pulling the power and the energy, for instance, I might go to give this gentleman a message and it being pulled over here and I'm giving it to the wrong person, and that wastes time. So rather than thinking, oh, I hope she comes to me, I hope she comes to me, I want to hear my... If you'll do that for me. Is that okay? Now, before I start, I'm just going to remove my shoes because I work better barefooted. So off they come. Okay, so we're starting here. I'd like to come to the lady in the red coat with the turquoise scarf around her neck, please. I have a grandmother here from mother's side of the family. This is your mother's mother, and she's linking here with you. A very powerful lady. But although she was powerful, she wasn't aggressive in any way, but she was a very clever lady. She was learned, not in the sense of reading books, but in everything that she did. She just had a natural intelligence with her, and she's coming here very, very strongly with you. She's putting both her hands on your head, and it's almost like, not in like a way of a healing, but it's almost like in a sort of almost like a religious sense. You understand what I mean by this, please? She was a very nice looking lady when she was younger. She's telling me here she's still nice looking, but she was very definite in her viewpoint. She had very high standards. What was right was right, what was wrong was a long, long way away from being right. You understand that here? And she's coming here to you, and now she moves around the front of you, and she's holding both your hands like that, and she gets you to sort of stand up, if you like, and she's leading you. And as you come towards her, she puts her face by the side of your face, and she's pointing up ahead, and she's speaking about July of this coming year here for you to look forward to quite a change in not just what you're doing, but where you're going to be. Yes. And so I feel that she's talking here very much to do with your work primarily, and she's saying, you know, if and as and when an opportunity around that time comes for you, and it will be quite different. I don't mean different work, but not perhaps expected. It might be like you get a link to go to America or some place that maybe you haven't as yet been with your work. Just go for it, because she says she's a very, very intelligent lady, but not in the academic sense, but in a sort of divine sense. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? She's joined here by a gentleman, which I take to be her husband.
Yes.
Here of her, and the both of them come together. What they're doing, they're making a seat with their hands like that, which is a symbol to me that, you know, you sit on the seat. In other words, they'll carry you along. You don't have to do too much except be open and be positive, and they're going to carry you along like this. She's talking about when you were a child, a baby, how much, not the obvious joy of a little baby being born into the family. It was more than that. It was like really special, and I feel that your family history, you know, dare I say, like the tribal bit, it was so wonderful, so extra special that you were born into the family that you were born into. Does that make sense to you, please? Okay, she's very clear. I feel this lady suffered before she passed into the spirit world, and I'm getting trouble around here and the middle of the body here, and it did bring her down, but she still kept that little bit of spark of interest and that little bit of brightness, and she's linking here with, they're talking about somebody called David. Do you understand a David, please, that you know? And around David there seems to be like a completion or something, like a healing, like something that is necessary and needed. And she's saying that she's very interested and very privileged to be able to help in this situation here, and so she's very aware of your situation, what you're doing and where you're going and all of those things. And she brings like a little bag, don't mean exactly a money bag, but like a little bag with a pulley thing in, but there is a coin in it, but it's not a coin I recognise or one of our coins, but I think it's the symbol of a coin. It might even be a foreign coin that I don't recognise, but she's given it to you, and so this really is exactly telling you that better days financially are coming, and she's going to see to it that they do.
That's wonderful.
Okay, right, thank you. The lady in the blue, please. Okay, I don't know what I've got for you yet, but I come here with you. I've got Father in the spirit world, please.
Yes.
Linking here very, very strongly with you. What a lovely man. Oh, she says, I don't know. Would we sometimes see, you understand what I'm saying? Again, a man who I think wasn't always understood. And some people might have thought, don't know if he's... Some people get mistaken. If somebody's really, and I'm not saying this is the case, but sometimes if one is deadly honest, sometimes people think they're rude. So what I'm saying when I say a lovely man, I feel he was what he was what he was. And we have to learn acceptance in this life. We can't judge anybody because we're all playing a role, aren't we, this time around. Maybe last time around it was different and next time it'll be different. But as I'm seeing him here, I feel the real true essence of who he is, not the role he played, is a lovely man. As he's coming here with a lot of love to you, but he also stands back. So now whether you were somewhat estranged at some point from him, because he's saying, I am sorry, you understand that? And he says, it's not just to you, I need to be sorry. There's some other person, whether it's a brother or a sister or somebody else, that I feel he needs or wants to say, I'm sorry, okay? And just coming here, I don't know whether he used to do this quite a bit with his head, or whether, I don't think he suffered like with headaches, but whether it was just a habit or something, because it's like as if he wants to rub his head like this. No, it was just a habit. He says he was just sort of used to get a little bit sort of perplexed. Shall we say perplexed? Would you understand that, please? And towards the end of his life, I think he really wanted to be gone. You know, some people don't want to go, but he did. He wanted to go. When the time came, he wanted to go. Okay, he's telling me. He said, I'm really pleased to be able to come tonight and say that I'm sorry for all that happened. And yet somehow I feel there was a part of him that was a good man, he really was. And he just didn't quite fit in or know how to, or whatever, all of those things here. I've also got a young man here who is not family. I don't think he is anyway. Would you know, Peter, a young, more of a boy, a youth than a man, who passed very quickly like that in a road accident, please? Might have been a motorbike accident. Yes. Do you understand who this is? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to keep drinking tonight. Is this a friend of yours, please, or someone you knew rather than family?
Yes.
Young person who was full of life, energy, all of those things, went out. That was it. Right out. No nonsense, okay? Coming very closely here to you, and the lady next to you, do you both know this person? I don't know if one or other of you at the time, it may be a long time ago, they don't always tell me, whether you sent out your thoughts of, you know, hope he's okay and on his way, because he's saying thank you for thoughts sent out. Does that make sense to you, please? And do one or other of you know the mother of this lad? Okay? And they're also saying, again, thank you for that which you can give over, or condolences or consolation or whatever it is that you've done. And, you know, really in many ways, as I'm looking at him, in many ways he's too sensitive. He's far more suited to that finer vibration than he ever really was to this world. So if that's any consolation you can pass on, that is really what it's about. And I don't think he needed to be here for any great length of time. Do you understand that, please? I'm getting dancing with the lady in the blue. Do you dance, please? Yes. Are you a dancer?
I did do, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm getting wonderful dancing here. And did you either train or know when you were starting to do your dancing a lady who was older than yourself, and she was a beautiful lady, very lot of elegance and finesse, and but she was older, and she would have been a dancer too. Like she might have showed you a few steps or trained you or something. Do you understand, like that? A lady here is very elegant and walks like a dancer, you know, beautiful. And she's coming here and, but I think she suffered quite a lot before she passed into the spirit world. I don't know if you still knew her then or whether you'd lost touch with her, but you know, it was such a shame because you'd think such a beautiful, elegant lady, what a shame she has to go through that because she is lovely. Do you understand that, please? Okay. And I'm not sure if I'm still with you or if I'm moving quickly, but did you know a family that were gypsy people? They're actually gypsies. Did you know a family?
No.
If not, I might be leaving you here. Okay, I'll say thank you for answering. Can I come over here, please? Somewhere here. Okay, I've got a young man here in the spirit world who passed very quickly. Here, I don't know that it was an accident. It may not have been an accident. Know anybody that committed suicide, did you?
No.
Oh, I'm somewhere here and I felt I was there with you. The lady behind you, let's try and get back to you. Darling, do you know of a gentleman that committed suicide?
Yes.
In the spirit world? Okay. And is this someone close to you, my friend?
It's my cousin.
Your cousin. That's what I wanted. You see, he was standing there and I linked him. See how easy it is to do that. Okay, bless him. And although it was suicide, it's almost like it was more of an accident. In that sense, I'm talking about up here. It was like as if the intent was there, but at the 11th hour, it could have not happened. I don't know if you're aware of any of those things, but it's like as if the original intent was to do whatever, but at the 11th hour, if we could have pulled back, we would have pulled back, but it was too late. Do you understand that? So it's more like at a cosmic level, more like an accident rather than that becomes very, very closely to you, and still a little bit sort of like this mentally as I'm linking here and emotionally with him. And boy, did this man have emotional problems.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Serious emotional problems. You know, we all have ups and downs emotionally through life. Of course, that's what it's all about, and learning to, you know, deal with them and put them where they belong and all that. But I'm afraid this dear soul couldn't do that, and is still struggling a bit now. Yeah. And would you understand, please, why he's saying that he wants to say to not just you, but all of the family and people how sorry he is that this happened, because he realises now from his standpoint, which is of a greater consciousness, just the damage that his actions have taken. You understand that? Yeah. And I don't know whether sometimes when you're sitting quietly, do you ever feel as if there's like a little cobweb almost sort of touching your hair? Darling, it's him just very, those subtle little bits of... Okay. He says, so happy that you understand about him. Yeah. Not many people do, or would. No. Do you understand that, please? He's drawing my attention to your feet. I don't know whether you might have had a problem, you might have stubbed your toe, you might have twisted your ankle, or whether you actually have a little problem with your feet. Maybe your shoes are a bit tight-fitting, or, you know, some temporary. I don't mean it's a permanent thing. Does that make sense to you, please? Okay, well, can you just be a bit mindful the next week? You know, you might go, because he's just drawing my attention to that, and he wouldn't. I'm getting a guitar here. Did he play a guitar? Do you play guitar?
Bit of both. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay, because he's just showing me this guitar as we're. You must have been aware of his presence around the Christmas time, please. Yeah. But he's showing me a candle. Whether you might have just lit one and thought that's for you, darling. Yeah. I don't know, because this is what he's telling me about, a candle. I feel it was lit. Not that, you know, perhaps you're necessarily religious or a Catholic lady or whatever, but it was just a little thing to do, little candle to light. And he thanks you for that. And he wants you to know he's very, very strong there. He speaks about the month of April. Now, I don't know if that's relevant or important to you. It is? Okay, so he's really very much closer to you than the nearest thing you see. Now, with regards to work, there could be changes, he says. Look for the changes. But know that it'll be the hand of spirit working there, so there'll be the right changes. Okay. From him, not from me. He says, God bless.
Thank you.
Okay. Right, somewhere over here I want to be. I want a Peter in the spirit world, please. Here somewhere. The lady there, that's it, thank you. And I can't see him at the moment, so I can't describe him to you. As soon as I say that, then, I'm feeling as if I'm on the taller side rather than the shorter side. Okay. I don't feel this gentleman was that old when he passed into the spirit world, or because he might have been young in mind, like me. But a lively sort of person when he was here on earth. Someone very close to you, my darling, please? Because he's standing there and he's putting his hands on your shoulder this way. So that's indicative to me that he's manoeuvring very slowly and gently a little bit of to do in your life. So he's giving you a little bit of push, pull, a little bit of guidance, go that way, this way, you know, what have you here. And he says he's so pleased to be able to do this. Now there's someone in your family who's quite psychic. Who is it, please? It's you, right? Good, because he says, "Oh, they know I'm in. They know I'm around. They know I'm around." Okay, and but he's talking about the coffin. He's talking about it as being a lovely one, a lovely bit of wood, almost too good, he says, for a coffin. Okay, for all those who want a cardboard one, that's a good thing to do. He's saying, what a lovely coffin. Oh, he said, it is nice. It was a nice bit of wood. You see, there are funny things that they say. He's talking about a picture. It's not a photograph, it's a proper picture. I don't know whether he had a picture that he really loved, or he bought because he liked it, or it's been passed to somebody else. Does it make any sense to you, please? About a picture in particular. And do you also do a bit of art or drawing or something? Yes. Yeah, well, he's there and it's like the hand is over your hand, so you might well find... I know I said to 2 or 3 about the interest here, but are you very interested in spiritual things?
Yes,
psychic,
I am.
spiritual
I
things?
work for Spirit.
You work for Spirit?
Yes, I'm medium.
Yeah. Great, because this is what he's talking about. You may very well find that you'll get into psychic art. If you do, you'll have him to thank for helping, because I'm seeing the hand coming over, overshadowing your hand as he's here working.
He was good at drawing.
He was good at drawing.
That's it.
There you are, you see. They don't lie, the spirit people, do they? And he's very strong there with you. And I don't know whether he was a smoker at some point. He may not have been a smoker all his life, but he might have been a smoker, because he's giving me the smell of smoke. And he says, when you think that, when you think, oh, God, smoking, you'll know it's him that's there, very, very much with you. I'm going to give you the name of Angela here. You know who this is?
Yes, I do.
Good. Okay, because he's saying that Angela too would be very good to follow in your footsteps, or to help you, or you to help her.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that's something that you can look out for here. He's talking about a car, and he says there's a tyre, and it's near side, isn't it? It's a front near side tyre that needs looking at. You might think you've just recently had them or something, but I don't know if you've picked up a nail or something. And all he's saying is, all I'm doing is drawing your attention to it. You're not going to have an accident. Don't go home thinking, oh God, you know. But it needs some attention. If it hasn't happened yet.
I think that's my friend's car I'm buying next week.
Your friend's car that you're buying, it's not blue, is it? Or bluey silver?
It's gold.
Gold. Oh, well, that's right. Perhaps she's having a new blue silver. Anyway,
Yeah, hers
there's
is,
definitely
looks like bluey black that she's buying.
there's definitely a tyre that needs looking at. Okay, and he just wants you to know that. Oh, he's so bright and happy, and I don't know that he was necessarily like that all the time he was here on Earth, but he's very bright and happy. And he's very lifted by you and the work that you want to do and all of those things. So he's lovely here, you see. And I've got to leave you for a moment, because I have to open this up, and I don't really like doing that, but when they come down the aisle straight to me, they won't always go, and I can't hold up the proceedings. But I've got some children here. Does anybody know children that died in a fire, please? A house fire? Does anybody know? If they didn't know them personally, do they know of 2 or 3 little children that passed in a house? Oh, it's yourselves, is it?
Yes.
Oh.
I grew up with her. Her children died in an accident.
Sorry?
I grew up with her and her children died in a fire.
Oh, right, okay. Just extra evidence for you, isn't it? That they live on. They live on. Happy little souls, not very old. went out like that. And just before I leave you, I'm getting a problem with my ear here. I don't know whether you have any trouble with your ear. You do. Okay. Well, you have it. I'll leave it. Thank you. I think I'm coming to the gentleman with his arms folded with the teal coloured top on. With the big. He unfolded his arms a minute. Okay. Right. Who is Frank?
Yeah.
You understand Frank?
do,
I
thank you.
can't see him at the moment. I don't know who he is, but I'm just hearing the name of Frank here. But I'm also coming to a gentleman that I take to be your father. Is your father in the spirit world, please?
He is, yeah.
He is, good. Right, because that's who I'm seeing here. He's standing so close to you that his arm is pressing into yours, like that, really pressing into your arm. I don't know whether you're ever aware of his presence around. He's saying you're very different to him, and yet there are similarities that join you together. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It may be that perhaps physically you're dissimilar and inwardly you're like him, or the other way around. But he said, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of where you are at this moment in time and what you're doing and which way you're going. He said, wonderful. Wonderful. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing. Keep doing it, because it's going to open up a whole world for you. Okay? And he said, and you said, you don't have to just take my word or my word for it. Just look around you, and I feel that you, I'm not saying that you necessarily link with the world of spirit, but you are very aware of that soul world and very aware of your own inner world. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
I do,
And he says, keep on doing what you're doing, because it's going to bring... He says it's like throwing your stuff out onto the waves. It comes back 60-fold. Okay? And I don't know whether you're considering a move of house, but there is movement around you. Maybe a house move, it may be to do with your work and travel, but there's a lot of movement around you. And he's saying, look forward, and he says by September of this year, life will be completely different in many respects. Okay? I know that's not evidential to you because it hasn't happened yet, but look out for that happening. There's also a young man that you should know of. I don't think he's a relative, but someone that you may have worked with years ago or something, who passed into the spirit world at not too old an age. You know, he may have been like in his late 20s or 30s or something like that, that you will have known.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just coming here, he's before he passed, and I don't know yet whether it was in an accident or an illness or what, but there seems to be a lot of agitation with him. It's like as if, I think he was very sensitive and nervous or something, and I feel that anxiety was really him, you know, and I feel very anxious and uptight about things. But he says, I'm able now to see the error of my ways. He just wants you to know that he is around, he hasn't forgotten you, he's looking back on those times, and he wishes you well, knowing that you're going to do well. And he says you should never doubt your ability, your own personal ability in the work that you've chosen to do, because it's good.
Thank you.
It's good, okay? Do you know the surname of Chapman?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
well that name is coming through here for you loud and clear. And I've also got a man, and I'm not sure if I've moved on from you or if I've got a man here that was actually a baker. You know, he actually baked bread for a living. You know, like a baker's shop. He used to actually get up early in the morning and bake all the bread. Do you know this, please?
That I can't tell.
Okay, right,
No.
thank you. This, I've got someone else here who committed suicide. For a minute, I can't tell if it's a lady or a man. There's a lot of distraught people left behind. Is there anyone here who knows somebody, please? I think this might be a lady. Tell me what you know, darling.
Yeah, a friend of mine committed suicide, yeah.
A lady.
Yeah.
So much distraught left behind. I mean, really distraught. Okay. And, okay, she's saying, I never should have done it, I never should have done it, I know I should never have done it. but comes again very close to you. Is this someone who's was a really close
Very
friend or
close
something?
old friend.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll just have to get her to calm down and sit down and let me get on with it. She just wants to kind of come over there and put her arms around you, see. And she says, I never should have done it. Okay, I know that. So she said, now I look back on the situation, there was something I could have done about my life, but I didn't know it at the time. I thought there was no other way. That was the only way. I now know, now looking at it with the greater consciousness, I realise with a bit more thought, or because obviously you're not rational in those situations, there was a way out. There was a way out, but I didn't know it at the time. So although she's blaming herself, she doesn't want you to look too badly on her. Do you understand that, my friend? Okay, and okay, so she's happy that we've got that across here too. Did she leave children behind, please?
Yes.
Okay, and did she leave grandchildren?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at more children than children, you see, here. And one particular grandchild I feel she was very close to. And I think that's where her thoughts are at the moment, with the one child that she was really, really close to here. And, well, what more can she say? What more can she say? But I'm linking now, I'll get her to stand aside. I'm linking here with your mother. Your mother in the spirit world, my friend? Okay. Just linking here. And here was a lady who I feel kind of enjoyed her life, but I don't think she felt it was really fulfilled as she'd have liked it to have been. You may or may not know that, because that's very much an inner thing, isn't it? Yes, I think she felt as if she didn't quite fulfill what she would have liked to have felt in here. Maybe she had disappointments along the way or whatever. We all have different lives, don't we? But nevertheless, she's coming here to... Did she have arthritic or stiff fingers or something? Because this is, what I'm picking up here with her. Take it away, don't it? Thank you. And she's just sort of... You know, she must get into your head sometimes. You must be doing ordinary mundane things like washing up or peeling the potatoes, and it's like she pops into your head without you thinking of her. Do you understand what I mean by that? You're not thinking about your mum, but suddenly she's there popping into your head, because you're quite a sensitive psychic lady yourself. Okay? You may not think of it as such, but this is the way she pops in like that, you see. And she's shaking her head at something. So I don't know whether you're contemplating something. It could be, you know, just decorating the house or moving house, or should we do this or should we do that? And if you are, and it's your business, it's nothing to do with me, they don't tell me everything. If you are, can I just say at the moment, right at this moment, can we just hold the horses? Hold the horses, because if you were to jump now, and when I say jump, I don't mean necessarily...
That's so true, yeah.
If you jump now, you jump wrong.
Yeah.
Hold the horses, she said, when the time is right, you'll know it. You'll say, now's the time to move house or do this or do that. Okay, so know that she's looking after you. She's concerned, not concerned, but, you know, she wants to get across to you. She says, we've got quite a few months to go yet. I don't know what she's talking about, as long as you do. That's the main thing, isn't it? Okay, and Tom is calling through quite loudly, unless I've gone off to somewhere else. Tom.
I've got a grandson called Tom.
No, this is someone in the spirit world, my love.
And a cat called Tom.
A Tom cat. Can you believe it?
It's called Tommy, wasn't it?
No, and it's not a soldier called Tommy either, before you say. No, do you know Tom in the spirit world, please? No. Okay. I'd like to come to our friend right sitting in the back.
Thank you.
Have your father here. My goodness, the energy he's got is amazing. And you must feel it around you, because it's like woof here. And he's doing some writing here, or rather he's indicating writing that you should be doing. Yep. He says you might consider yourself not to know enough to write about, but he says you have past knowledge.
Right.
That needs to be brought out. So get your piece of paper and your pen and say, come on then, Father, show us how. And it's he says he should have done some writing when he was here
Yeah.
about this subject, but he never did. He wants you to do it, and he'll marry his mind with yours to get some writing done. Okay, it's important. It's not so much important for other people, like you write a book, but it's important for you to express what you know and get out and think, wow, I never knew that I could do all this. And I don't know whether Father passed with a condition which also affected his breathing at the end.
Correct.
But I'm getting again very, very difficult to breathe. Was he a smoker as well?
In the past, yeah.
In the past, because yeah, I'm okay. Take it away, thank you. Yeah, he was on the go so much all the time with this terrific energy that he had, that he really didn't have the time to take things in. The spiritual stuff was there, but he couldn't take it into himself because he was so busy pushing it out and doing things and all this.
Right, yeah.
Okay, he doesn't want you to do the same.
Right,
So we need to go in, a bit more meditation,
right.
not a bit more, but on a more regular basis. Yeah, and he says he'll be well pleased if you can do this. There's also a child in the spirit world that passed as a baby,
Yes.
that he's looking after and working with in that world. And he says, we often come and have a look at you. Says, you're not doing so bad, son. You're not doing so bad. Okay. Right. How are we doing for time, Greg? 15 minutes. That, friends, I'm going to leave it, because when the energy starts to drop, not my energy, I've got loads of it, I can get it, but I can't always hold it. And so I'd like to say to each and every one of you, thank you for coming. I'm sorry if you didn't get a personal message, but know that your energy has helped the messages to go where they should. And it's lovely to see you, and if I don't see you again in this world, I'll see you next.
Yes, if I could just say once again, Ginny, thank you very much for a lovely evening. For the evidence that's been given from the spirit world can bring so much comfort, so thank you. And may I thank all of you for making our evening possible. Our next Saturday evening is on the 25th of February, and the medium is yet to be announced. So thank you very much once again. I'd like to wish you all a safe journey home, and may we see you soon. Thanks.